on wait commands, right? So basically, implicit wait you can use only in the beginning. You cannot use for particular conditions. That's a constraint. Okay. You cannot use for your condition. For example, you want to wait for the page title. You cannot use that condition to be met with a implicit wait. That you can use explicitly. You can tell, okay, wait for my page title, wait for my element until my element is visible, until my element is present, until my frame is available and switch to it, until a text present on this location. All these are conditions. Particular condition you want to wait until that met that condition. You want to wait. You can use explicit wait, not implicit wait. Implicit wait is so the whole program, if required only it will take. You cannot set particular condition. That's the main constraint. Okay. And so the wait commands, that is the one explicit wait. And I'll show you all the conditions. If you want to go to conditions, you go to Selenium documentation and you can see expected conditions. So expected conditions, you are expecting something and you're asking WebDriver, hey, WebDriver, wait until my condition met. That you're instructing to the WebDriver with explicit wait. So that is this explicit wait means. To expected conditions. Packages overview. Support.ui. Support.ui. So here we have expected conditions class. This is the expected conditions class. It has a lot of methods, all static methods. See, alert is present. You're telling, okay, wait for alert present. So wait for this locator contains of attribute and attribute value. Attribute contains. See, this is again method overloading concept. Attribute to be, attribute to be. So attribute to be not empty. So your attribute, this should not be empty. You want to check. Then you're going to call this method. Element selection state to be. So maybe, so it is selected or not. You want to check. And you can use element selection state to be, element selection state to be. Element to be clickable. So whether that element is clickable or not, you want to check. If it is disabled, you cannot click, right? So that condition you want to check, an expectation for checking element is visible and enabled so that you can click on it. So whether it is enabled or visible in the web page, so all this condition is met or not, it will check. That's element to be clickable. Element to be selected. You can see all these methods are overloaded methods. Same method name, but parameter is different. Parameter data type is different. Parameter is single parameter, but data types are different. So that is the method of overloading example. All these methods you can give example for method overloading if they ask you. Can you give me some method of overloading examples? The methods you have used, you have created, or you have used in your automation, All these methods you can give an example. You can give a frame method, you can give element to be clickable, or element selection state to be, attribute contains, attribute to be, so element to be selected, and frame to be available and switch to it. An expectation for checking whether the given frame is available to switch to, frame to be available and switch to it, string frame locator, frame to be available and switch to it, by locator, frame to be available and switch to it, web element frame locator. So invisibility of web element. So an expectation for checking element to be invisible. You want to check invisibility of that element. So then you can call this method on the expected conditions class. So invisibility of all elements, that means a list of elements you can check. Invisibility of all elements, so few elements you can check. Invisibility of element located by locator. So invisibility of element with text. So in this location, the text should be invisible. An expectation for checking that an element with the text is either invisible or not present on the DOM. Number of elements to be. Number of elements to be less than. Number of elements to be more than. So in this location, so the number of elements should be less than on this number, should be greater than this number. You can check. Number of windows to be. So presence of element located, I was using, right? Yesterday I used it in the Google search. Presence of element located, an expectation for checking that an element is present on the page or not. You can check with this presence of element located. So presence of nested element located by. Presence of nested element located by. So refreshed, staleness of, text matches, text to be. So these are the different text related methods you can use. So and this one I was using title contains, title is, and you want to check this URL, URL contains, URL matches, URL to be, and you can use this URL related if you want to verify, and you can use this URL related. Visibility of all elements, visibility of all elements, visibility of element located, visibility of element located. So this is the different types of expected conditions class method. All these are static method. Can you see that? So where these are available? In this class. How can you call static methods? Class name dot static method. That's what I have used all this in my code. Wait dot until expected conditions dot all these conditions. So those conditions you want to met, then you have to use this one. You cannot use this one. And fluent wait. So fluent waits are variation of explicit waits that allow you to define your custom polling or polling for intervals, polling for element, ignoring some specific exceptions during wait time you can use. For example, so you want to wait. So, and you want to poll for that element. Okay, every 5 seconds, go and check the page. The element is present or not. But this is the hard, right? How much seconds you will give, that many seconds it will wait. It has to, so keep waiting there. But this one, so on the fly, you can tell, okay, WebDriver, go and check every 2 seconds or every 5 seconds. You can tell that with this fluent wait. So that's the fluent wait advantage. A custom wait action you can do with this fluent wait concept. So why and when these waits are necessary? Loading delays I already told. animation and transitions, server response times, asynchronous operations. So clicking the button that triggers a background process, waits ensure that process completes before proceeding. And server response times, if your test depends on data retrieved from the server, you should wait for some time. So animations and transition, UI animations and transitions can affect element visibility. So waits, help that element is so till it is visible and available for the action on that element. So loading delays. So sometimes page takes more time to load a dynamic content, and such cases this wait times will be very, very helpful. So to implement this wait times, I already told you can use implicit wait on the top, and explicit wait is particular condition you want to check. That explicit wait is only for that condition, not for the next lines. It won't be applicable. So where you will call the condition, that condition only that is applicable, not for any other things. See this wait, I'm writing a wait means it will be only that wait here only. This time, whatever you specified here, that wait time is only for this line, not for any other line. That's the
But
explicit.
Implicit wait will be applicable for the everything, right?
For all the
you do
lines.
an
Yeah, all the lines. You don't need to so separately tell that.
Noted.
And so the syntax of implicit wait is driver dot manage method dot timeouts method dot implicitly wait of duration dot of seconds, duration dot of milliseconds, duration dot of minutes. So this is the how in the Selenium 4 it changed. Before it was you have to give time and unit to. So two parameters. Now they made only one parameter in Selenium 4. That's the change. So explicit wait I already mentioned. First, how to use explicit wait. First, you have to create object for WebDriver wait. Wait equal to new WebDriver wait and driver comma time. Time is in, so you have to duration dot. So different methods you call static methods of this class.
This line I missed today by typo mistake.
Yeah. So you can use anonymous object also. So anonymous object you can call until method. So with this object reference, you have to call until method, and then expected conditions class as the argument you have to pass. So this is how to use this explicit wait. So wait dot until expected conditions dot static method name. So all these are the static methods you can call based on each method is one condition. So that condition method you can call here. So as I already mentioned, how to use these methods. So no need to go through that again. So the fluent wait is, as I mentioned, so you want to poll for particular interval on the fly, you can use a fluent wait. So the frequency with which fluent wait has to check the condition and ignore specific type of exceptions, and the maximum amount of time to wait. All this, if you want to implement in your code, you have to use a fluent wait. So how to use this fluent wait? Just create object for, so this is an interface. Wait is an interface, and wait equal to new fluent wait. So then wait dot with the timeout, polling every, ignoring. This is the Selenium 3, this one, but the methods are same in Selenium 3 and 4. And only difference is only difference is now the only one method they made, that is duration dot of seconds. That's it. Otherwise it is the same. So no change. So difference between WebDriver weight and Fluent weight. So WebDriver weight is a subclass and of Fluent weight class. So the Fluent weight class is a parent for the WebDriver weight. So you can use all the methods of Fluent weight in the WebDriver weight also. So weight is an interface. That interface, so which makes Selenium to wait for a particular time with associated events like element to be clickable, element to be present, element to be visible, frame to be available and switch to it, and element to be clickable or not. All these events, if you want to check, you need to use a wait. So wait interface present under org.openk.selenium.support.ui package. Fluent wait and WebDriver wait implements this wait interface. So until method is implemented in the WebDriver wait. So that is an abstract method in the wait interface, but implemented in the WebDriver wait class. So basically, whatever the browser class which implements this wait interface must implement the WebDriver and wait interface methods also. All these classes must implement wait and WebDriver interface methods also, every class. So until method accepts the expected conditions class as a argument, and so you have to wait until certain condition. So Fluent wait class implements the wait interface, and WebDriver wait class extends the Fluent wait class. So that is the multi-level inheritance here again. And these are the Selenium 4 changes in the Fluent wait. Instead of 2 parameters, they made change for the, so with the timeout duration dot op seconds, polling every, so that is changed as a duration dot op seconds. So just 1 parameter in the Selenium 4. Before it was 2 parameters. Now they made only 1 parameter. So what is the difference between implicit and explicit wait? So implicit wait is applicable for all the elements in the test scripts. And this is applicable for a specific element. So based on the condition. So implicit wait is no need to specify expected conditions on the element to be located, and must always specify expected conditions on the element to be located. Most effective when used in a test case in which the elements are located with the time frame specified in implicit wait. So this one is particular condition you want to met. That time this explicit wait is very helpful. So those are all the wait commands, and go through all these wait commands, expected conditions class. Anyhow, we are going to use thoroughly in all the programs. And once we come back, we'll see we have completed already drop-down related, right? Drop-down with the select class, drop-down with with the default process. I'll show you now multi-selection drop-down. So, okay, multi-selection drop-down, how can we handle that? So one more example, so you have is how to select a random option from drop-down. So let me give you same code, only you need to do one random class object you create, and then so that random class method inside you have a nextInt method which generates the random number. So then that random number you pass to select by index method, then it will generate the it will select the random option. You don't need to give option name. Generally we are giving option name, right? But with this concept you don't need to give any random option name, just you are passing the random number. So, but you have to create a random r equal to new random, and then r object dot nextInt, and you pass the collection of drop downs count. In that count only it will generate the random number. That random number you pass it to select by index method, random number. So it will generate it will select the random option from drop down. So how to select a random option from drop down means this is the code. You first create object for select class,